On this episode of Around the Corner, we brought you here to Alma to the Linam family farm.
Yeah, this is the first ever look at this new blackberry farm where they have state-of-the-art technology helping make some of the best blackberries that you'll find in our area.
And that's right, Chris is going to give us a tour and we're going to show you around. Come on.
Should we hit type? Thanks for picking us up.
So these are your baskets. So you're just gonna put it around your waist and then it's gonna hang down. So that belt will be at the top like this.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna go over the basics of picking a ripe berry. And so you wanna pick a berry that is glossy black, but the best will be flat black. The ones you want to avoid are the ones that still have a little bit of a red tint to them. And when you pick a berry, you want to go up to it and it should just roll off in your finger.
Oh, that's easy.
Oh, that is easy.
Okay. Does this one looks good to me?
Roll it up.
Look at that. Can I try
They come off so easy.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's good. So there's 4 different varieties of blackberries here on the farm. We just tried the Ponca.
Yeah, really good. And you can try them all too. Let's go try the Caddo next.
Gotta pick
Come
one
on.
more. This one is the Washita. Go Tigers. Sadly, our taste test is coming to an end, but we couldn't leave without trying one more.
Yeah, Chris, tell us about this one and why it's special.
So this is the Natchez, and this is a larger berry that is often used in baking.
Fill up a cup faster, right? We're wrapping up our time here on the Linam family farm. Now, you can't come pick your own blackberries just yet. They're working on that. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, they're gonna let you know on their Facebook page.
You can still come get that blackberry fix though, because they have porch pickup here. And while you're on the farm, you might as well come and take a picture right here by the truck. That's gonna do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on
Around the Corner. On this week's episode of Around the Corner, we brought you here to the Bentonville History Museum. Now, Zach, when you think of Bentonville, what comes to mind?
Obviously, we think about Walmart.
Right? Big part of the area and the economy, of course, but this museum here put in a little less than 2 years ago goes way beyond that before Walmart was even here.
So we're gonna find out how Bentonville became Bentonville.
You're right.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, the first thing to know is this used to be an actual train depot. It's got lots of exhibits in it now. Let's go check it out.
5 bandits, and they robbed over 11,000. That'd be about 400,000 today.
The Henry Starr Gang.
Do you think there's money in that bag?
When the robbers escape, can you lift it?
Oh, what does it say?
It is.
Okay.
You're supposed to see if you can lift it.
This money allowed the bank to own. Sitting here is a similar sized bag weighing about half what the $900 in silver would weigh. Can you lift it?
It's got a little weight to it. All right.
Piece of cake. There's a lot of historical pieces here that'll sort of tell you the story of how Bentonville came to be. Even a section on early medicine, records from doctors in the city of Bentonville, and then an entire section on education. Did you know there used to be a Bentonville College? They gathered a little bit more than $6,000 to build it. It didn't last long though, but you could learn about it here.
Another interesting thing you're going to learn here is about this man. That is Arthur Dickerson. After serving in World War I, he comes home back here in Bentonville and becomes the first African American to run his own business. It's a shoe shine shop. He runs that successfully until he retires on his 81st birthday. The Bentonville Chamber of Commerce gives him the very first Man of the Year award. It's named after him to this day.
Now, before you leave, don't forget to check out Caboose Park, which is just right outside the museum. You get to check out this cart, which is on where the tracks used to be.
Yes, and this is their next project to get this remodeled inside, and then you'll be able to get your own feel of how these cars were back in the day. All right, this episode is leaving the station. We'll see you next time on
Around the Corner.
On this week's episode of Around the Corner, we're here in Bentonville at Fen Fieldhouse. Now you might think this is just for pilots or another airport, but
There's so much more than meets the eye here, and I'm ready to check it out.
let's do it. These planes are so cool. I want to get in a plane today.
Yes, I only do the really big ones.
You don't think a small one would be exciting?
I think it would be maybe a little too exciting for me. That's the problem. Now, they do change out the planes in here from time to time.
But one thing that doesn't change, this car right here.
Yes, Louise Thaden's actual car. This is what it's all named after, right? She was a pioneer, women's aviation, flew back Amelia Earhart days, and she was better than her. She was the best.
I mean, we might be biased because she was a hometown girl.
I'm not biased, but she was.
Blue pig.
All right, Tiffany, so you talked about wanting to go up in a plane. Surprise, I booked you a tour.
Me? Are you coming with me?
Turn around. That's a one-seater. You're gonna need these.
Thank you. Do I look like Maverick?
More like Goose. Now get to going. Just like Tiffany's going up in a flight today, you also can come and book your own personal tour.
Here we go.
Go, little Tiff.
All right, Zach, hold that flying made me hungry.
Tiffany, you are in luck. They have a restaurant here. It's called Louise. It's an absolute hot spot in Northwest Arkansas.
I hear it has great food and you get to watch the planes take off.
Table for two.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Soup du jour.
Soup du jour. So you may have noticed we're on the club level outside instead of inside at the restaurant because it was so packed.
No one's complaining. You love the views up here overlooking Osage Park.
And there's even a plane coming in right now, so it doesn't beat that. Another cool thing that you can do here is they have a playground, they have kayaking. There's so much to do here, but I think we should focus on the food right now.
Absolutely. I may need to walk around the park too. That'll take care of it for us this week. We'll see you next time on
Around the Corner.
On this episode of Around the Corner, we brought you here to Fort Smith to the Museum of History.
At 113 years, it is the longest continuously running museum in the state of Arkansas.
And you can see this place. It's huge. Multiple floors of original artifacts inside. Are you ready to check it out?
Yes.
All right, guys, there is a whole room dedicated to the history of broadcasting here in Fort Smith.
The history of Channel 5 is inside.
And the history of radio.
This is really cool. This is a history of radio microphones in the past 50 years.
Guys, I got the voice from 1922. Here comes Babe Ruth up to the plate. The crowd goes wild.
All right, well, another thing that they have here, History of 5 News started in 1953 as KFSA Channel 22.
All right, and look at this. This is an actual news set in here.
Guys, showtime.
Showtime.
This is KFSM TV, Channel 5, Fort Smith.
Welcome to Around the Corner. I'm Joe Ellison.
I'm Tiffany Lee.
And I'm Zach Scott with your forecast, eh?
We've got our best crews out there giving you the latest about the history of Fort Smith.
All right, first we're going to go to Zach. He's going to tell us about the history of the $1 Million Bridge.
All right, Joe. Now, before we got to the Garrison Avenue Bridge, we had the $1 Million Bridge, named so because it cost so much more than they expected. Here you'll learn about the concept to construction to the celebration, and it was a massive one when the bridge was completed. You'll also learn about how Albert Einstein's son helped improve the navigation of the waterway through the Fort Smith area on the Arkansas River. That bridge meant so much to the folks of that era.
All right, thank you, Zach. Now let's go to Tiffany out with the city's first fire engine.
Joe, this right here is the first fire engine to help fight fires in Fort Smith. It's named the J.J. Little, and that's after the fire chief at the time. Now, this is an engine that required a lot of teamwork. Right back here, you would have crews of men that would stand here, help put coal in the water to keep it hot, so there'd be enough water pressure to go through this hose. Right here, it was horse-drawn, so you had a driver that sat in that seat. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Tiffany. Great work out there, as always. Let's take you to our legal correspondent, Joe Ellison. She's in Judge Parker's courtroom. Joe?
Okay, thank you, Zach. Now, you've probably heard of Judge Isaac Parker, the hanging judge. Well, this exhibit right here is what his courtroom would have looked like. That chair back there, though, is the one that he would actually sit in to preside over cases not only in Fort Smith, but in the Indian Territories. Now, how did he get that name, the hanging judge? Well, for example, 15 convicted murderers were hanged at the Fort Smith gallows under Parker in his first year. You can learn all about that here. Back to you.
Thanks for the update, Joe. Now you're all caught up on today's news. Let's get a check of the forecast with meteorologist Zach.
All right, Tiffany, we're driving in those north winds behind that cold front. Storm's already blowing up from Fort Smith all the way up to Fayetteville. We'll be tracking in the Weather Center all weekend long.
All right, thank you, Zach. Well, that's it for us here. We'll see you next time on
Around the Corner.
Back to you.